So this is a follow-up to the Eyes Bred Shut video featuring Tom Tanuki that I did previously. As you'll know, he did a video essentially arguing that it was absurd to think that pedophiles would use the LGBT movement in an organized way to advance their agenda. I said, of course, they'll use any movement. They'll use the church, they'll use the medical establishment, they'll use the scouts. There's absolutely no reason why they wouldn't use that movement. And it's historically documented that they have used those movements. And I included probably an hour and 20 minutes of evidence that this had happened. But ironically, Tom was able to use the fact that there was so much evidence as an excuse not to look at any of it. As we can see here, Tom has blocked me, but we were in communication, and one of his reply guys who I've been talking to is Whit Gofflam, and he posted the "Are we the baddies" meme, and then I posted a counter video which shows that Robert Webb calls himself a gender critical feminist, and then I posted the link to the Eyes Bred Shut video. So then Whit replies, I'm not wasting 2 hours watching whatever this is. And then this tweet is from Tom, and he's saying, you shouldn't expect people to watch your video. And then I reply, I'm not insisting that he does. I'm just saying it's not surprising that he didn't watch. And then he said here something to the effect of, I'm glad it's scripted. And then I responded saying, the first 40 minutes is about the mural. The next 20 are historical examples of pedophiles using LGBT for cover. And then the final 60 minutes are current examples of them using the movement. However, this video that I'm linking you to here is less than 10 minutes. So if you're looking for a quick introduction, that's a perfect place to start. I then said, not surprisingly, Whit won't watch this either because the length or quality of the content was never the issue. It's about maintaining the information bubble. And then Whit replies, I can guarantee you it's 100% the length and quality. So then I condensed the 10-minute video down into 140 seconds of the most relevant information and started posting that, along with a link to an article about the information that's being spoken about in the video. So we'll just watch that.
WPATH, the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, in December, they released the updated draft standards of care. Standards of care are the recommendations for medical authorities on how to treat what they call gender dysphoria. In the new draft standards of care, they introduced for the first time the concept of a eunuch as a gender identity. A eunuch refers to a man who's had one or both testicles removed, a surgical castration. When I saw that, I was already familiar with the concept of the eunuch within this whole gender ideology. But in their draft standards of care, they had specifically linked through to a website called the Eunuch Archives. When I saw that, alarm bells went off. I thought, this is insane. How could they be citing this website? Because that website is filled with written pornography, and nearly half of it is written pornography about castrating children violently. So after I had done the initial write-up, a few days later, we were able to identify and actually name some of the academics behind the website. And they were actually also invited by WPATH to speak at conferences more than once. So starting from at least 2009, this group of 3 men who were main formative members of the website were invited by WPATH to speak on this topic, citing their own research. So they were gathering research from their own site members.
So that's the video that Tom Tanuki watched, and his response was, if the group of people who identify as eunuchs have to identify as groomers because of a few grotty stories on a forum, then you also have to identify as wanting to murder trans people because of a few TERF comments on Twitter. Just completely missing the point. WPATH sought these people out and toured them around. Anyway, I said, it's about WPATH specifically using input from members of a pedophile forum which was illegal until 2006 when written child porn was legalized in the US, for people with a fetish for making eunuchs, not being them. I don't seek input from people who want to kill anybody. And I wrote a second comment, which was, a few grotty stories. Dude, I can't believe you said that. Then I quote tweeted what he had said and said, Tom Tanuki calling the Eunuch Archives a forum for written child porn about making eunuchs, just a few grotty stories. To which he said, lol, you tag me again and again in your shit, hoping desperately that I either engage or that you can scum some clout off me, and then the minute I engage earnestly, you quote tweet with this bullshit. Be gone, creeper. You really do have a very sus head on you too. I mean, I totally do, but given that you just tried to explain away a website of child pornography, I'm gonna take what you think is sus with a grain of salt. But anyway, I replied, yeah, you earnestly called a website of written child porn a bunch of grotty stories, and now you're comprehending what you've done. Your concern is not that WPATH supports child porn, but instead how your opinions look on Twitter. That's when I got blocked. So I just want to clarify, Tom Tanuki know that WPATH, the organization that most of the gender clinics in the US take their medical advice from, has had an ongoing relationship with a child pornography forum. And so when he tries to argue that no child predators are using the LGBT movement for cover, he is lying.